keep your calls clear. Support so smooth, your clients cheer. Smart tech powering your team all day. MyCallCloud, the cloud call away.
Welcome to the MyCallCloud Podcast. Raymond Stover.
Thank you, Noah.
And Noah
Appreciate
Cease.
you hosting
Hello,
us today.
Hello, everybody. We have topics today. We have topics we want to cover.
Howdy, howdy.
Let's see. We have, last time, just to recap, we talked about branded caller ID, which is an industry-specific thing that's happening in the contact center space with, typically it was just T-Mobile, right?
T-Mobile was the first large adopter, yes.
The first large adopter. And then Verizon, we hear, is coming on board.
Yep, they confirmed.
Right.
And so that's guaranteed.
And then AT&T had a letter of intent. Is that what that was?
And they are, they have been involved with this and they have been delivering. And I hear that some of the calls going through their network will even deliver. So they are ramping up. It should be, I think, the official word hasn't come out and is always, it's gotten pushed from Q3 to Q4. And now I think it's now to Q1. But the popular sentiment, amongst the carriers has gotten to the point that this is, something that we're going to move forward with. So it is the next technology that is going to help legitimate businesses make legitimate calls and show their brand, show their company name, and avoid the spam flagging. Because if the call is going through, the call has been tokenized with the branded caller ID, it will show up on the T-Mobile network and now the Verizon network. And soon, it's also on the Sprint network, is also fully compatible with the branded caller ID. So AT&T is coming on board, and we are seeing a lot of interest in this because, so many of our clients have been faced with the spam flag calls. It's so dreaded that, people are avoiding their phone calls because of that. And now with branded caller ID, we are rocking and rolling with zero spam flagging when the call is delivered on those specific networks.
Yeah. The thing is, we still have to jump through the hoops of getting the branded caller ID delivery from a third-party system into our call center infrastructure, right? And it's going to happen with AT&T as well. So AT&T, they're not just going to be able to just turn it on. Branded caller ID involves some hardware or a process and either to look up something related to the authentication of that call, right? So that's going to come back to a database somewhere. The call's coming out, cell phone checks it just like the caller, the CNAM database.
Yep.
I'm assuming that's what they're using. Is they're going to use something similar to that.
It's a vetted database, right? And what is the tagline? What's the business use case that they're providing? What's the logo? And so, that telecom network is reading the token and taking in that information, grabbing the logo from somewhere on their network, and then pushing it out across the cell phone network to the destination.
To the customer, consumer. Yeah. So branded caller ID is all the new hype. Right. And we kind of went through this like all new hype scenario a couple years ago with just caller ID management and, one of our partners that makes sure that the caller IDs that are being used are the ones that are producing non-spam, scam, and actually producing real traffic for the customers. And that's interesting because I think maybe even branded caller ID and that group together could be real interesting.
It is. There's technology.
And shout out to Outbound Annie. I'm not going to not.
Yeah, that was the name. That was the company you were speaking of.
That's
right?
what I was talking about. Jason, Schatz Gamer, heads up. Hope you're doing well.
Hey, Jason.
Yeah. But I think it could be real interesting combining those two technologies together, the two methodologies together, the two strategies, right? We'll produce branded caller ID on a particular phone number, and then measure the results and the traction on answer rates and talk time and all the things that we know are granular that we can measure. And then, if that caller ID maybe isn't working for whatever reason, and then a different one is, maybe it's a toll-free versus a local, right? Then you can still make those decisions based on analytical data related to what that phone number is, right?
And how it's performing.
Because branded caller ID is just going to be there, right? It's going to just produce the calls and the brand logo and all of that stuff but you don't necessarily know what the traction is for a particular call number unless you measure that. And of course, we have data in the call center suite that we offer that will measure. We can look at before and after.
Yep. Compare with branded caller ID versus not branded caller ID.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, it doesn't come for free. It's a new technology. Every call costs a few pennies or more. And that's the nature of the business. One of the professionals I was speaking with a few weeks ago had said, well, it's just another excuse for the telcos to be able to derive more money.
Charge more dollars.
There's truth to that.
Absolutely. I know.
Millions of phone calls with that.
Well, and do you think it's the FCC just had a shutdown order for 1,200 plus call entities, phone network entities, right? You're supposed to stop the people that actually got the orders were supposed to stop taking phone calls from particular parties, which we talked about last time, Leadspedia having a large outage, a 2-day outage based on that information alone, right? But how surprising is it that branded caller ID is getting rolled out after the FCC shut down all this stuff? Isn't that weird? Doesn't that seem a little weird?
Well, they're working to separate the wheat from the chaff, right? The classic here in America, we want the legitimate calls to go through and the non-legitimate, and there's, I think our American public has just been assaulted so much by illegitimate players from foreign nations trying to take money out of our pockets. The American consumers are just so leery of unexpected phone calls. And that's part of the beauty of the branded caller ID. A lot of times the consumer has requested information, and then when they see that call coming in from that company on their phone, like, oh, this is the call I was expecting, as opposed to a toll-free number or a local number that may or may not show the CNAM through their cell phone. Well, that call may be missed.
I know. So we use this all the time as an example, Grease Monkey or Home Depot or, a brand that's recognizable that's not getting their calls through because of spam likely, right? But they're calling, hey, your order's ready for pickup, your car's ready, it's done service, school's calling you, whatever, right? All these things. Do you think branded caller ID is going to be used for like schools and colleges and, local governments?
I think that it probably should. That was sort of the use case I was thinking of, was the healthcare providers and the schools and whatnot. It costs money, and are they willing to spend that money for that?
Or do they get a free pass?
Will there be a government, regulation?
Government waived fees?
I think that would be a good thing for our infrastructure.
Isn't that weird? But the government has caused a problem with the telephone network delivery process, or trying to correct an issue that has now caused a problem that they now have to sign up to subscribe to fix
and pay money for.
I mean, silliness, right?
Capitalism at its finest.
By the way, time out. Yes. I want to just talk about your shirt for a second. Can we please? Can we talk about this? What is it? Is this silk?
I think it's 100% imported polyester.
100%
the high quality
polyester.
Imported, yeah. No, it's just it's a party shirt. It's a celebration shirt, and it's just a good day to be here and to visit with you. And I like your shirt too.
Thanks, man.
This will be interesting to see if the AI bots will sort of take up more of the face on the shirt versus the face on the monitor.
Well, and in the same, I can adjust those clips and stuff. So I've learned how to do things. Opus Clip, by the way, if anybody uses it, is fantastic. Right?
It's impressive.
Adding text, adding images, adding outros, adding intros, even adding like little music clips and stuff. Like there's all these things are available. We can play our little clip from MyCallCloud. Whatever we want.
And it does a good job of segmenting recordings into smaller pieces. So
it does. Yeah, like this. We can put this little on the outro.
MyCallCloud, we keep your calls clear. Support so smooth, you'll glide.
Anyway, that'd be kind of fun. Just have outros of our music and QR codes and calls to action, and hopefully we get you some bookings with those QR codes. I think eventually when the content reaches the right people, you will.
Right. Well, it's so funny. We were looking at some stats recently and talking about the AI adoption in call centers, and it was highly inflated for the customer base that we are interacting with.
Yeah.
And, there are many people out there that need these small, medium-sized SMB call center solutions.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Yeah, listen, call centers aren't all 300 plus seats. There's a lot in the world, in the country, in our country, that are 10, 5, 20, 30. And they're perfect for us, right? The SMB market for MyCallCloud is excellent. We service them really well. They're typically not super complicated, right? They might have an integration, which is fine. We're happy to do small integrations and Zoho and Zapier and whatever is required. But not most call centers in the country are not 100 plus. They're just not.
No, they're not. And, I love that you say that the integrations, we're doing integrations that the big boys are doing. And, we're not Genesis, we're not Five9s, we're not Convoso, but we get some of the smaller clients that have been there. And, I think I may have said it before, but, one of the reasons our clients are happy here is because they feel like a big fish in a small pond, as opposed to, going to these competitors and they become a small fish in a big pond, and getting their solutions built and put into production in a timely manner is just, it's like pulling teeth. And
I know. It really is. It really is. I mean, we've heard everybody that catches this in the industry, it's the horror stories of getting a call center deployment spun up and rolled out in a reasonable amount of time is extremely difficult to do, especially for large guerrilla type companies, right? We don't have to name names. It's fine. No big deal. But we typically can 90% faster roll up solutions that are required. Maybe even faster than 90%. Maybe.
Oh, we're days and weeks as opposed to months.
Right.
So
hours sometimes. Yeah. I know.
Yeah. And we control everything, and we're not having people on their specific versions and locked into,
I know.
the server. So I love the flexibility here.
I did too. All right, let's talk about this a little bit. Let's talk about some of the integrations that we are exploring or have in place already.
These are all integrations that we already have. The list isn't fully complete, but there's trends in AI, there's trends in call centers, and one of the big trends is the AI agent. Having a AI.
Well, let's talk about these. Let's talk about Infer.so. Let's talk about the relationship with Phonely, Retell.
Sure. Yeah. Well, I mean, we have a relationship with Infer.so. They've been delivering, they've been doing for our clients a frontline agent that does the qualification. Is this the right person? And, once it's qualified the call, and then they're handing the call over to the agents in the call center that normally are doing that call screening. Mm-hmm. And with the Infer agent, it's quickly doing that qualification piece, getting the call over efficiently over a SIP trunk very quickly to the agent. It's very seamless for the client, and the success of that has been steadily increasing. Right, okay. We've seen some implementations that did not go so well, and people back up and I'm not sure I'm quite ready for this. And Infer is one of those frontline agents that services that has been delivering.
That's good. Do we have metric data on that?
I don't have metric. We could probably get that. It'd be good to.
I mean, at some point.
Here.
At some point. Listen, we both. Everybody knows this too. AI is getting better, and these LLMs are getting better. This is a daily advancement process at this point. This is not weeks and months. This is sometimes by the day. They're releasing new LLMs or the middleware in between the LLM and the requesting parties, or whatever that payload is called, the query payload. I don't know what the payload is called yet. Like, there's terms that aren't even defined yet, right? And these are one of those terms. Or even like the speed to answer, right? That's a term that's not really defined yet. I mean, I was talking to Amazon, for example, because Amazon's got an AI cloud platform as well. And I was asking them what the speed to response is. What is that? What is that term? And nobody knew what that term was. But that term exists.
Sure.
Time to respond, but it's actually something more specific, like LLM response query time or whatever it might be. And I'm sure there's going to be an acronym that nobody knows what it does. But, that's going to be a consideration too. Is it unnatural to get a response? Is the time too long? Is the time too fast? Is it faster than a human being? Well, Amazon claims it is. I'm like, I'm not sure that's true. But you still have delays, across the telephone network, especially if it's a voice query, right? If it's not just a data query, you're not just typing something into ChatGPT or Grok or Perplexity or whatever. And we're going to talk about Perplexity in a little bit. But, that response time itself, that one thing is going to be a big measurement tool inside of the contact center industry, right?
Yep.
How quick is it? How slow is it? What is it?
Yeah. And how much does it
accurate is it?
remember, because, returning members will want and expect they are remembered.
Yeah.
Right? That's another huge aspect within the call centers is the personalized customer service. There is opportunity for the AI to really assist the agent and knowing the consumer and their needs and their prior history, and the AI can help guide the agent along the way, right? There's different programs out there that can sidecar along with our agent interface to help guide the agent through their call and help recognize, this is a problem crux point that often is encountered, and successful agents have told the consumers, to look into this solution, and because it's a well-proven solution, and the agents are being lifted up in their ability to properly manage and help consumers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Please, let's talk about some of the other AIs.
Well, Phonely, we love Phonely. They do a really good job, high quality voice. Mm-hmm. And actually they were taking off. We built the SIP trunk and we were passing calls back and forth between them. And there's a bunch of logic that's now been built. And so there's multi-directional, decision making where the AI is managing where the agent is now being replaced. And so that model is continually growing, right?
And there's just a bunch of public money and private money going into solving these problems, because if you solve the human labor problem, unfortunately, nobody's going to have a job. We know this, or very few people are going to have jobs. The nerds that code the AI at some point are going to even get replaced. Right.
Well, yeah. The people that, the common statement is that your job will not be replaced by AI. It'll be replaced by somebody running AI.
Right.
Right. But given time,
even the people running AI are going to get replaced
to some degree.
Yeah. AI is going to have its own management group of an AI manager agent that manages the AI, that helps the AI grow. And that'll be an exponential process. Anyway, we are way down like a future path, but literally this could be next month.
Well, we are in exponential growth times. Right. We have not seen, like your comment earlier about the LLMs, they're being improved on a daily basis. The QA teams come back from lunch and they can't continue QAing what they started that morning because there's a new release. They have to now go QA the newest release. Mm-hmm. And it's just amazing how fast the technology is growing, right? When we were starting with Phonely many months ago, it was a little rough, right? Mm-hmm. And they've been continually improving. And now we're to the point where, gosh, we don't even talk to them anymore. It's just smoothly running, right?
And the odd part for me, the surprising part for me, is that Phonely is lean. They're they're 10, 12 people, tops. And that's managers, PMs, developers, code, everything. They're small. But they are nimble and they are moving at, I would consider probably at least the same speed as some of the other AIs that we've interfaced with, as far as integration, accuracy, delivery, customer experience, CX, right, all these things. They're I would say on pace with everybody else.
Well, I think that if you look at the size of some of these startups and these companies on this list and on others, the teams are leaner.
They're all about that size. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know.
And that was interesting. You were talking about the AI to manage the AI. At the highest levels, that's not going to happen. You're going to have a human at some point. And that's a big problem right now is we have to have human oversight, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's that huge debacle with Deloitte and Touche where you didn't hear about that.
No, let's talk about it.
Well, it was just, and they had provided a report to the Australian government, and they didn't have enough human oversight. And there was garbage in the report. And you could tell that it was AI generated.
Really? Okay, so they cut out human contract labor for...
Well, the biggest...
yeah, here we go.
Yeah.
Deloitte will partially refund the Australian government for a $440,000 welfare compliance report that was found to contain errors due to the use of artificial intelligence, including fake citations and quotes. Oh, shit.
Yeah, where's the human oversight? And that's one of the big themes I'm reading lately is that you have to have good human oversight. Mm-hmm. You can't just let these AI bots run wild.
The report titled Targeted Compliance Framework Assurance Review was Australia's Department of Employment and Workplace Relations. The errors, the first version contained non-existent academic references and quotes, some of which were attributed to a real professor, but he didn't say those things? That's wild. A quote from a judge was also misstated. So, weird.
Yeah, well, I'm to the point now where I will ask the same question of multiple engines.
Yeah.
Right? What does Grok say? What does Perplexity say? What does Claude say? Chat GPT. And, somewhere in there.
We did that, right?
I'm sorry?
We actually did that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Well, I think it's a growing trend for me. And
yeah, no, staying up with trends from sales and marketing perspective, just even the marketing has changed. Just the way that we can reach people and let them know that we're around, right? That's changed. Opus has changed that. Opus is only 2 years old. They're only 2 years old. But they're creating clips and reels and cuts of tasty morsels that people need to, the tasty morsels from Succession. I keep going back to that. People aren't going to watch long form stuff. Like nobody's going to really watch this in a long form. We get that. But what they are going to watch is they're going to watch the 30-second clips of the things that are relevant to them that match their SEO portfolio of things that they're interested in.
Right. That's just it. Things they are interested in.
Hit it on the nose. AI, whatever it is, call center, contact center, right there. The things are going to get pulled out of this episode, out of this video content that are going to be relevant to just handfuls of people, a couple thousand people in Florida, a couple thousand in California, a couple thousand in Texas, that at least in this niche of contact center space, right?
Yep, 100%.
So we did this experiment. We actually looked at what each AI was going to say about the contact center trends, and let's do just a quick overview. And structurally, I'm just going to go through these. I'm not going to read all of them, but we're going to structurally just look at them and give an example of why all these different AI tools are important to know about, especially in the contact center space, and also which ones provide the type of structure and response that you're looking for, right? Because they're not all the same. I mean,
no, they're not.
This is Google AI. So I'm sure this is Gemini responding back to what the current trends in the contact center industry are. The focus on the integration of artificial intelligence, the balancing of technology with the irreplaceable human element, which, they give a nice summary here. So Gemini is, I think, summarizing.
Right. Well, all we really need to do is read those larger bullet points, customer experience trends, right? AI, what's right above there? It's the AI agent.
Proliferation of AI and automation. Scary word, by the way. Thank you, AI. Proliferation.
It's happening.
Really? We're going to go with proliferation?
It's rolling out. It's certainly happening.
AI-powered agent assistance, advanced analytics, voice biometrics, cloud-based platforms. I mean, those have been around, obviously, for a while at this point. Robotic process automation, RPA. That I didn't know about this.
In the call center, interesting. for back office tasks.
Internet of Things. Omnichannel engagement, so customer experience trends, omnichannel engagement, hyper-personalization, expanded self-service options, proactive customer service support, video chat and screen sharing. This will be interesting. Video chat and screen sharing. AI is going to do that.
Interesting.
I mean, in what interface are they going to do a video chat?
We're not quite ready there. I think we would have to have a human in the middle to help manage that video chat screen sharing.
Unless they're getting like a phone number from Verizon, AT&T, T-Mobile, whatever it is, and then they're using the root, not the rootkit, but the phone itself as the interface mechanism.
Yeah, the carrier of that, so that you can go and
and obviously we know that the hardware itself is just hardware. There's software running in the programs that run video chat, right? And we know these tools, right? It's Snapchat and Instagram, and now you can just video call each other, right? So at some point that's going to be keyed into the call center, where you're going to have a video AI bot that's walking you through, and maybe it's Allison Smith, or it's whatever, right?
Yeah. Shout out to Allison. That'd be great to see her as a, put a face to the voice.
I mean, for God's sakes, Allison, you've talked to probably 5 or 6 billion people over the lifespan of your voice recordings. You might as well get
your voice is
video.
Recognized. Yeah, absolutely. That'd be we should reach out.
We should reach out to Allison Smith. Allison Smith, if you see this, we would love to have you on this podcast.
Absolutely.
That would be fantastic for you, for everybody in the world and humanity. Please come on. We'll reach out. We'll send her that little clip.
We want to hear the voice of Asterix.
We do. All right. So Gemini, just a rough overview of what's going on. Here's Perplexity AI. No, this is Claude. Claude is interesting. Claude is calling for certain metrics to be hit. Let's see. AI and automation, AI-driven solutions are expected to reduce average handle times by up to 25%. That seems accurate, likely, especially for inbound.
Absolutely.
Cloud-based, that makes sense. Obviously, things are going to be moving more and more cloud-based. This is odd because ChatGPT gave us a response with dollar growth valuation between a certain year to a certain year, and remember, if it was up to 2025, and then between 2025 and 2035, they were expecting another $50 billion in growth. I don't see that. I don't see how that's going to actually play in here.
It's the way that they're calculating.
It seems excessive. I mean, the needs are already being serviced for the most part in the call center space by the players that exist today. There's not a big hole for like inbound, outbound. Like I feel like it's pretty much homeostasis.
Right. It's slowly evolving, right? You're replacing 10-15% of your agent workforce this year.
Yeah.
But in the next 6 months you may replace another 20%. And in 5 years you'll probably have 10%, maybe.
Now, if the growth is cloud-based solutions, potentially, if people are moving from prem to cloud-based, but who's not on cloud-based already? I mean, it's very few people that are on prem.
It's easier to ask who's on prem.
Who's on prem?
Right. Yeah. Security conscious, healthcare or something, people that want to maintain their data in their call center environment that they manage.
Yeah, I don't see this growth. I don't see 87 billion by 2029. It's 4 years. I don't see that. Up from 27.22 billion in 2024? No. I know.
It'll be interesting to see what, we're looking at Claude, right? What does Grok have to say and the ChatGPT?
Let's look at Grok. Contact center industry is undergoing rapid transformation driven by AI advancements in AI, evolving customer expectations, and a focus on operational efficiency. Based on recent industry reports and discussions, here are the most prominent trends shaping the sector in 2025. These insights draw from surveys of thousands of consumers and employees, as well as their expert analyses from events like CCW Orlando with Call Center World, right? Which we've never been to, oddly enough. It just seems like we would get lost in the noise there.
We would. Right? You got to have, $15,000 walk in the door, have a nice big booth. And
I know. All that's going to change, man. That's all of that stuff is changing at some point.
Yeah, the small, nimble players that can deliver. And that's one of the beauties of what we have going on here is we can deliver custom solutions quickly and easily.
So Grok is not calling out growth, monetary growth. Yeah. Enhances efficiencies with global AI market for contact centers projected to reach $7.5 billion by 2030. Now, that might be an accurate value.
Right, and that's coming from Vonage. I noticed, yeah.
I mean, there's going to be growth.
Absolutely, there's going to be growth.
But it's not going to be $50 billion. It's not going to be $50 billion in 4 years. That's excessive. That's, what is that, $12 billion a year? Between 12 and 13 billion a year. That ain't happening. I'm just going BS on that value. These trends highlight a human-centric future where technology amplifies rather than replaces people. Aiming for personalized, efficient service, the overall market is booming with software solutions from players like Cisco, Microsoft, MyCallCloud. Oh, that's weird. How did we get in there? Fueling growth through 2035. To stay competitive, leaders should invest in integrated platforms that blend AI with empathy. I like that statement, actually. I think there's some truth to it. I think there's some validity to it. It makes sense to me.
Yes. Oh, absolutely. But, what is the trend, right? We're going to be changing. The nature of the world is really going to be changing. So in the next 3 to 5 years, yes, we're going to have help with the agents. The agents are going to be assisted more, and the consumers will get better service. And that human AI interaction is going to help. But the humans are going to continue to be phased out. Mm-hmm.
Slowly.
Right? Yeah, well, the AI is learning. They understand. They've listened to tens of thousands of phone calls for this one call center. Yeah. It pretty much knows the route to resolution on 90% of the items that are brought forward to them.
There's always going to be a loss, right? There's always going to be some sort of there's going to be a positive upswing and there's going to be a loss. And the positive upswing is you're going to be able to save dollars on human resources, right? We know that.
We're already seeing it. We're already calculating and stating what it is, The
downfall is there's not going to be a high completion rate on calls, or not as high as human beings. Okay. So let's say, take an example, problem resolution. I need to book an appointment for Grease Monkey, right? And Grease Monkey is now totally AI automated. Let's just say they are. I'm not saying they are, but let's say they are.
As an example.
You call inbound, you book an appointment for your car, and it's all driven by a voice bot, chat bot, maybe with one of our partners, right?
Mm-hmm. Totally feasible.
At some point, the AI will run into a scenario which it can, maybe not hear the customer. There's too much background noise. It cannot discern the voice correctly, right? Or whatever there is in the logic structure of answering questions and getting responses. And it will fail, right? And there's a failure rate. We don't know what that failure rate is, but it's higher than a human being. Right now, people are saying it's about 30%. That could be improved already. We don't know. That was a couple months ago. Or it could be 5%. But there will be a failure rate. So if your failure rate is less than the cost for losing that business and the cost for the human resources, if all that equals out to a positive net result for you, then it works. If it does not equal a positive net result, then it doesn't work.
That's right. Yeah. The CFOs are saying, ooh, I want an AI agent, $1.50 an hour. Yeah, give me that. Mm-hmm. Well, there's been a lot of horror stories coming out too, where people are adopting AI and they don't have the right guardrails in place. It's not ready for prime time, and they're losing customers.
Deloitte and Touche, great example. Right? Deloitte and Touche has got to refund Australia
$500,000,
$440,000. I mean, that's not like a small contract. That's a big contract.
Well, the street credibility, really is what hurts. It's not so much the
obviously. Yeah. The monetary pain point there for Deloitte and Touche was not big, but they used AI and didn't review. Right? If you use AI, you still got to put that human review process in, like you were saying. Otherwise, you're going to have this off the rails sort of stuff.
Yeah, and it'll feed upon itself. Oh, well, that was a good answer. I'm going to produce that again.
Well, and here's the thing is Deloitte and Touche may have even had a personal a summary of human beings. They may have had that already in place. But the person that was reviewing it didn't pick up on the nuance that quote was not correct.
Yeah. Well, I think you had said it earlier. You need an AI to monitor the AI, right?
Right.
You know, have an AI to do the fact checking for the AI that generated this research.
Yeah, confirm all these quotes and citations are correct, right? Don't use the same AI tool, because the same AI tool is going to have
the same inherent flaws,
or a propensity not to check the things that it already produced.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's weird.
Interesting times we're living in.
I mean, it's just wild.
And here we are going from, you know, everyone thought Google was going to be the end all, right?
I know.
And Google is starting to be displaced now.
I know. Well, Google is too big. Listen, if Google has Gemini, they've got a Gemini team. They've got an AI team that's clear. But still, they've got meetings and structure and things that slow them down related to a 10-person, 12-person team, if only, that they don't have to have a meeting about. They can just say, hey, we need to change this right now.
This is the decision. Move.
There's no positive or negative review. There's no pro con. There's none of that. That's move, go. After lunch, we build. And we build. And then you have, like you're saying, you have another version. You got a QA and, you know, test and all that stuff.
Yeah, but still, the release times have really been dropping. That's a big subject in the development world, too.
I was talking to, and this will be interesting, I was talking to somebody at Facebook about marketing and ads and the Facebook platform. And one of the engineers there told me that AI is rewriting Facebook.
Yes.
They're getting rid of PHP. They're going to go with a better threading process. I don't know if they're going to use Python. I don't know what they're using. Go, Python, whatever. They're going to use a better threaded model code language so that it's going to be a little bit more efficient. And can you imagine the cost savings? Like if the efficiency goes up 20% for somebody surfing Facebook or querying Facebook or do whatever it is, the performance increase is 20%, and Facebook has 3.8 billion users. That's a lot of money if the efficiency equates to dollars and cents, which we know it will, right? Just electricity use.
Exactly. I was thinking, there's the electricity power consumption, but the infrastructure that's needed in the call center in the data center. in the cloud, right? Yeah. That infrastructure and that's huge, and that's the power and energy delivery is becoming a big issue.
It's a big issue. I mean, all these players are building their own power plants, right? How wild is that, by the way? And
an IT company needs to build needs a power source for their servers.
And they can't rely on the utility distribution from the government or from the government subsidized power company, which we know they're subsidized in some way, shape, or form, one way or the other, taxes or incentivized programs or build outs or whatever it might be. But yeah, so like Facebook is building their own power plant, and that power plant is going to power Facebook data center stuff and their AI tool and whatever. And we're talking about megawatts of power.
Oh yeah. And Elon's going to build one too, right? He's in the process of doing it. One of the biggest ones.
That seems obvious.
Yeah, he's a smart guy. He knows, he sees the future, and he knows that power and compute are needed to run. And he's, the autonomous driving is one thing for Tesla, right? But the bipedal robots that are going to start coming into people's homes.
Oh my God.
You gotta have.
Are the Tesla bots, are they ready for purchase yet or no?
I think pre-release, isn't it? But I mean, that's certainly, if I wasn't in the call center industry, I might think about going into bipedal robots into the homes. It's
Optimus
huge.
Gen 2. You can't currently buy it. What did AI say? You can't currently buy it, but it is going to be available when? Full scale Tesla Optimus robot. Tesla is currently testing and refining internal versions and limited leasing program. It's planned to begin in 2026 before any wide-scale consumer sales. However, you can buy a $45 miniature Tesla bot action from look at this.
Yeah.
He's right here.
But he's not a bot. He's just a figurine.
Yeah, well, I mean, he does things, like he can raise his hand. But I mean, not autonomously. He's driven by an operator. Good job, Tesla. Optimus. Good job, Optimus. Listen to me, Optimus, later, and find me. I'll put you on the podcast. Once you become sentient, we'll sit you down. We'll have a chat. We'll figure out where we're going. Sound good?
I love it.
All right, let's finish up this review on what the industry contact centers are, and then I want to dive into Perplexity a little bit. So let's see what Perplexity said first of all on our initial query to them, and what is to them like it's a person, right? What are the trends in the contact center industry? The contact center industry in 2025 is marked by rapid adoption of AI, technology-driven efficiency, focus on customer and employee experience, and flexible remote operations. Key trends: widespread AI adoption, remote and hybrid workforces, cloud-based contact centers, and you can see that the thread is pretty similar here.
Mm-hmm. It
now,
sure is.
Perplexity didn't talk about a growth model either. They didn't talk about a percentage of growth or billions of dollars in a particular industry sector. So that's interesting. They just gave us more of an overview summary of what was coming. And then, what is Perplexity? We're gonna figure out where Perplexity is. Here we go.
Discovery and curiosity. It says, it's not just about answering questions, it's about empowering you to do more, whether you're looking to summarize content, explore new topics, or even get a little creative. Basically, it's a general AI assistant that is grounded in truth. I'll go through each feature in Perplexity in just a little bit, but first I want to give you a quick overview of the general interface. So if you go to perplexity.ai, you will be greeted with this very familiar looking prompt window. So this is very similar to anything like ChatGPT or Gemini, except that it has some specialized search functionality buttons over here, including this search button, which is for everyday questions. Here's one for deep research for any topic. And then there's also labs, which allows you to create projects from scratch. Here you can select different types of models. So Sonar is Perplexity's own model, but you can also select things like Claude, Gemini, and GPT, and Grok. This button allows you to search more specifically, whether you're looking at the web or only academics, social, or finances. So this is all going to tie into Perplexity's specialty in search functionalities. And of course, here is your ability to connect files and to upload things. And here's the...
All right. So it looks like a ChatGPT interface or a Grok interface or a Claude or whatever. Now, but you have a little more information about Perplexity.
Well, they are growing fast. They've received a lot of funding. They are... they're disrupting the industry. I think the most obvious way is that they are now releasing Comet as a browser. And as we were talking today, it crossed my mind multiple times that, the browser, the search engine that we have grown up with and used for years now it's changing, right? People are going to ChatGPT and they're going to these LLMs to ask questions they used to ask Google. Mm-hmm. And
surprisingly enough, ChatGPT sent Nicole a customer for sound bath.
Nice.
Yeah, they were asked. They asked ChatGPT, "Where can I experience a sound bath?" And the space showed up in Arvada at True Collective.
Nice. That's a big part of it, right? Traffic is going away, and I think Google is really working hard. They got to get that Gemini and keep people on their browser to searching for questions so that, got to have capitalism running, right? Got to find those products that I don't really need, but I'm going to go buy. And I was reading just recently how SEO folks are now working more on, the focus has gone from the Google, right? It's going to the LLMs. Yeah. And Perplexity is upending the model, and they are providing a built-in LLM with their browser.
Right.
And it is gaining fast in popularity. They've received a lot of funding. Mm-hmm. And I think it's definitely a very interesting company to watch.
Like the Brave browser. I mean, every browser has maybe something keyed into it, right? Like, obviously, Google Chrome, right, it got AI-powered results, right? You can click AI mode. But it's not necessarily going to look at things the way that she was discussing Perplexity in a truth-based way. They're going to have a bias Google's going to have a bias, right? They're going to have a bias to their advertisers. They're going to have a bias to their user base, right? The Google's ecosystem, Google's culture, right? They're going to have a bias.
Yeah. That LLM was built up by that community.
So hopefully Perplexity, fingers crossed, they keep with that truth-based model. What is truth, right? And they stay with that truth-based scenario. If they can do that and not have a biased response, then they will absolutely win.
Absolutely. You know, we are in an age where people are questioning what they're seeing and what they're hearing. If you can provide truth and you're a channel of truth, you're going to have a lot of eyeballs.
Mm-hmm. You're going to get a lot of eyeballs for sure. Because a lot of people that just don't want that bias stuff. I just want an honest response. Just give me the truth. What is it? Anyway. Where are we at here? So we did Perplexity. We did a little recap on what Perplexity was. Covered that. Boom, boom. And back to this. So I wanted to reference what we were doing back here with our interfaces. You know, who are we interfacing with? And we'll just keep going on this list and get some more cuts out of here.
Yeah. So Retell is interesting. It's not even an AI agent. It is a tool to build your own AI agent. One of our smallest customers went with a contractor, and they have built their own AI agent, and they're running through MyCallCloud.
Okay.
They built it using Retell.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that little tidbit about that customer. So
yeah, you know, we've been so busy with so much going on. It's a great example of how quickly things are advancing and how these tools are becoming available to the SMB market.
Yeah.
You know, and this gentleman he's a small operator who's, like I say, one of the smaller ones in our network.
Yeah, give us a scenario. What is he using it for? I mean, keep his name out of it, of course.
No, of course. But he is selling energy.
Okay.
And his goal is to replace 80% of his agent workforce long term.
Okay.
And he's starting with known solid use cases, right? You want to keep the consumer in the lane. Mm-hmm. And so what he's doing is when it's time for the renewal energy subscription, he's using the AI bot to help manage that renewal piece, because there's known pieces that need to be said, and he has a lot of information on that. As opposed to long term, he's going to have the AI agent do the prospecting, identify new prospects, and make those phone calls.
Yeah.
Right. And so that's more difficult because there's more open-ended questions that are going to occur. And so so he's building his agent. He built that agent on Retell.
Yeah.
And it is growing.
Interesting.
Super interesting.
Does he have metrics on like accuracy of response and fallout rates? Does he have that yet?
He doesn't have it. It's only been a couple of weeks, but that
data is going to start to show up. Yeah, because he has got a before and after, or do we have?
Well, he does. I mean, he has the data.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, we'll use him as not a use case, but we'll use him as a case study, or maybe we'll pull that data out and really look and see what his cost savings were on HR, human resource, labor, and then what his positive upside was, maybe even what his fallout rate might have been from humans to AI. So we can do that.
Yep.
That'll be interesting.
Absolutely.
So I know about Skit. I know about Smile, but let's talk about them a little bit.
Yeah, the Skit does specialize in the collection space. We have a client using them now. Once again, the AI agent is doing the frontline qualifications. Is this the right person? This is a debt collector trying to collect money, right? Mm-hmm. And then it transfers over when it's the qualified, verified right person. And it's been, we've had to revisit it. It's interesting, right? We get to see this as a very close level being at the call center. Yeah. I heard those first phone calls and they were kind of rough. Like, ooh, You're not going to put that into production, are you? But it has improved in just a matter of months that it sounds good.
Yeah.
It almost sounds real.
Okay. Good.
And
All right.
it's-
So Skit, yeah, I know we've had some positive, successes there for sure.
Right. And then SmileCX, that's a larger one out of Europe.
Mm-hmm.
And so some people here in America might not know it, but we also know them from the collection space and their AI agents. And I don't know everything they're doing, it's European, but for my interaction it's the same thing. It's that front end agent interface with the consumer to qualify the call and try and collect the money. If not, barge out, kick it over to the agent and let the human, close the deal.
Right.
Manage it.
And then you want to just pick out a
looking
couple
at
of
we'll
things?
just talk about the analytic business intelligence suites. Data Tier, they're a local company. We've been involved with them for going on about 7 years, and they really do help the SMB market. That's a bit of their niche, and so they help raise up interesting aspects of data that people might not normally find, and they help small business owners make intelligent decisions because they're in a wash of so much data. And so making intelligent decisions and intelligent solutions so that these decision makers can make good decisions in a competitive market with larger companies.
Yeah.
So shout out to Data Tier. They're doing a great job. And Gong, I think Gong is pretty familiar with a lot of folks.
Yeah.
And
Talk about Gong a little bit.
well, it's a very popular platform for lead generation, right? And we have one of our B2B clients. They've been using them now for a couple of months. We're going to the next level and giving them recordings so that they can do analytics. So we've gone, it's a progression.
So it's not just lead gen, right? Gong isn't just a lead gen platform. It is also a voice analytic platform where they're analyzing best conversation, right? So they're going to throw all these recordings into an LLM. They're going to convert everything into a language model, right? It's obviously a speech to text process. And then they're going to take that information and they're going to marry it up with the success data or the metadata from these particular calls. Was it
successful calls of the past,
time of the call, success, whatever it was. And then they're going to create the best pitch, right? Or they're going to formulate what the best agents are doing. And then they're going to reproduce that across everybody. And then they're probably going to go with Infer or Phonely or Retell or somebody like that. And they're going to just let this AI bot just pitch. Now, here will be a really fun part. And we should come up with this, actually. We should have, on the consumer side, a phone answering tool, not like a screening service like Google has, which is fun, too, because you can, is it urgent? Talk to me about the problem, right? Whatever. Actually create an AI agent that answers your phone for you and then has the conversation. Is this a valuable service that I'm interested in? And if it's not, add me to your do not call list. Wouldn't that be fun?
Yeah, absolutely.
My AI agent answer.
Oh yeah, have your virtual avatar manage your phone calls.
You go through the process of saying the 250 words you need to say, and so it can craft every single comment, whatever they are. I don't know what.
Well, you feed it knowledge,
the phraseology that you need for your voice, so that when somebody calls you, they don't even know that it's not you. You're just having an engaging conversation with somebody, and then eventually the AI gives you a summary of the call at the end. Yeah, you talked to your cousin Luke for 32 minutes about deer and elk and about the tree stand you helped him build in the middle of the woods and that kind of stuff. I think that would be awesome.
Well, there's people that are, building their AI avatars, and maybe you and I should look into that and report back.
It'd be fun.
It'd be fun.
It'd be fun to build an AI avatar just to take the phone calls from everybody. All of the scam stuff. Take it, the people that are saying your process paperwork is ready for your loan documentation or whatever, right? And then obviously just let the AI agent probably talk to the other AI agent and just waste each other's time, and then eventually say, put me on your do not call list.
Tell me more, identify, qualify, and no.
I know, it's wild.
Do not call list. Not that that really does much.
So Gong, Microsoft Power BI, people typically know what Power BI is for Microsoft, business intelligence solution and suite for them. Salesforce Einstein Analytics. Tell me about that. That's something new for me.
Well, it's the sub-product within Salesforce that helps with the analytics. And so it's a specialized product within the Salesforce suite.
Yeah, it's just unbelievable. Like we used Salesforce 18, 19, 20 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, as gross as Salesforce is, as big as that platform, and gross in a just a size perspective, it is incredible that we've come from just getting data into a thing and having it process a data flow for us to actually having analytics to it. Because first of all, we just would, what are the reports for your sales pipeline? That's a great example. A report is there, but add on to that layer of report, what else could be done in the analytic information? What else could be done? And we just didn't have these tools 20 years ago. They didn't exist, Yeah. So it's just wild to see these new things come and bolt on to, because Einstein Analytics was probably a third-party tool that Salesforce probably bought.
They probably absorbed, yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Tableau.
And Tableau, yep. A lot of folks know Tableau. And, it's just what we're doing here for the Power BI and Salesforce and Tableau is we're feeding it call center information. Right? Duration of calls, call results tied into individual consumers. And, people can lift out all sorts of data points.
Yeah, and they have to. Listen, to run a call center now, you've got to be extremely efficient with your cost structures, right? You can't just wing it. You just can't. Otherwise, you go out of business.
The competition is fierce.
You got to find your data sources where you're going to call, right? Your lead sources. Then you have human resources. Then you have human resource problems. Then you've got taxes and insurance. Then you have all this other stuff. Yeah, I mean, hooking in an AI agent to do one particular type of phone call, like a collection call, and then a human being to take the credit card payment on the other end. That might be all you need to just make enough money to have a decent living, Absolutely. And, some people want to have the AI take in the credit card. And a lot of people I speak to, no, I'm not going to let that happen. I'm not going to let down the guardrails, and I want a human at that point. Yeah. So. Which is wild. People will not allow a credit card to be taken by AI, but they'll let a car drive you. Right? Autonomously. A car is going to drive you from point A to point B, from your house to lunch, for example, or Asian kitchen, right? But you're not going to let AI take a credit card.
And there's guardrails. There's known, That's interesting.
It's interesting.
It surely is. So then call and audio analytics. We have a few of those listed here. There's more within our network, but Amplified Analytics, high end. They help provide CallMiner. They're a reseller of CallMiner, or service of, so basically you're using that high end CallMiner solution, but at a fractional cost using, the Amplified Analytics solution.
Interesting,
so, that's why they're listed here. It's a better fit.
These are not the California. They're in Canada, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, CallMiner's been around for years, right? Matt in our network was using them 15 years ago. And that was the high-end product back then, and they've maintained that.
Yeah.
And so within our network, the Amplified Analytics helps serve that need, because a lot of our clients don't have the big pocketbook for CallMiner. $150,000 a year. Well, our SMB isn't quite ready to absorb that cost.
Yeah, exactly.
And Call Criteria, we have multiple implementations with them, and they do a good job of identifying and classifying calls and providing management insights into what's happening in their call center. And
YakTrack,
it's really interesting. They are a low-cost leader with high value. I really like them.
They're out of India, right?
Out of the U.S., but they have a core team in India. They've been around for several years.
We've talked to them before, for sure.
Absolutely. Yeah. Good folks, good solutions, and good prices.
Yeah. That's good.
Yeah.
And then we've got a plethora, I'm going to say a plethora of CRM integrations. I'm just going to rattle them off just for hopefully this AI catch this reel, please. Right. CRM integrations. We got Beam software, B-Frame, Enterflow, Go High Level, HubSpot, Infusionsoft, Microsoft 365, Microsoft Dynamics 365, NetSuite, Pipedrive, Salesforce, Service Titan, Sugar CRM, vTiger CRM, Zendesk, Zoho,
and customs. Right. We got some clients with legacy homegrown CRMs that we've integrated with.
Yeah. Most of the time they have APIs, so that's good.
Yeah, but those homegrowns, a lot of times they need the tab delimited file or the space delimited file.
Or they need an automated screen process where somebody hits a button, F7, and it goes tab, copy, paste, tab.
Yeah, the macro still lives on.
The macro lives. Yeah, auto hotkey, macro express. People know these tools. And then what else do we have here? Lead management and distribution.
Oh, don't skip the.
Oh, I skipped.
Yeah, the DNC. Compliance.
Oh yeah, the big one we kind of want to talk about today, and one of the people on this list, contact center compliance. We've known this gentleman for 20 plus years. Mm-hmm. I've seen him at multiple shows and conferences. He's always there. I don't know if he has a life other than going to shows and conferences.
I think he has a life, but it's just with the wife and kids, and it's very segmented because when I'm talking, it's like either work or them. So.
Exactly, yeah. And we're talking about Ryan Thurman. And Ryan, you've been a great resource throughout the years. Shout out to you. You've certainly helped build contact center compliance. I hope you're part owner at this point. I don't know if he is, but he should be if he's not. Yeah. And just the amount of knowledge and industry contacts that he has, it's immeasurable.
And the solutions, DNC.com is where we knew him from, but they've been growing and growing. The contact center compliance, sort of the umbrella there, but the trust call and the work that he's doing. We started off our conversation talking about branded caller ID and spam flagging.
Right.
And it's really interesting. We were talking with him the other day. I don't think you were in on that call, but oh my goodness, they have a Fortune 100 client running 5 million calls a month with 12 phone numbers. Mm-hmm. And they're able to do that because Ryan and his team have a technology. I do not understand the technology. It sounds like it's a registration process with the telcos, but we're doing a registration process with the telcos, and others are doing registration process with these.
And we're not seeing that level of success. We're seeing some,
right,
but not that level.
5 million calls on 12 phone numbers with no spam flags.
Yeah, it seems unlikely.
I'm just dumbfounded by that.
Taken back, right?
I want to.
We got to verify that information.
Yeah, I'd love to get find someone that needs a quality, high level spam solution to get through to their consumer base. Mm-hmm. I'd love to plug in that product. So if anyone out there is interested in learning more, talk to Ryan Thurman and the team there at Trust Call and plug us in. We'll help make it happen.
Yeah, no, that's good. That's really good.
Yep.
Blacklist Alliance.
Yep, another big player in the industry. They do a very good job of educating their client base, very good job of keeping people in the know of what's happening and how to protect themselves. And, some of these SMBs don't have a lawyer on retainer or a lawyer team on retainer. And Blacklist Alliance, they sort of help fill the gap there, and they provide a lot of good guidance. And Griffin is up and coming for the DNC litigator scrub. They have a tight IT stack, and they are the up and coming company to watch in that space.
Okay. Good to know.
Lead management and distribution, there's several that we're connected with. We've worked with from time to time. Leadspedia, Retriever, and Ringba for those people that want to have a clearinghouse to sell or buy leads from.
Yeah, it creates a marketplace.
These distribution teams.
Yeah.
I mean, we can do it too. It's funny. We're creating the solution so the consumers can speak with these companies and hand off and receive the calls from these companies.
Yeah.
But we've been doing that ourselves, right? With one of our customers and with that one of the Phonely installations. Mm-hmm. And we are distributing calls to buyers directly.
In a hybrid way.
Tell us about.
Yeah, it's just a hybrid way, right? So there will be a buyer-seller process that will either hit a database or will hit an interface to determine whether or not they can transfer that call out, or if that call center is ready to buy that lead, whatever it is. And then the phone number will come across on a data stream back to us. And then that phone number will get picked up in a call routing process and then route that call out to the call center that is buying that information or buying that prospect, buying that lead data, right? Yeah, so we're not a clearinghouse, right, by any stretch of the imagination, but can we do call routing based on lookups and APIs and those types of things? We can, obviously. As long as the data is there, as long as we can get a response back, as long as we can make an actionable direction of the call based on the data, then we can make that happen for people.
Absolutely. Well, and we are doing it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, we are doing it.
Very cool. There's many number management solutions out there. We have our own. There's custom solutions we have in-house, but there's notable players in the market that we like to work with, the caller ID reputation folks, Numerical, Outbound Annie, Trust Call. We were just speaking of them.
DNC.com.
Right. Yeah. So there's other notables out there. I need to expand on this list.
Here's the question, and this is just an industry question to you, and it's a little bit scary for these players, but is branded caller ID going to sunset these services?
I don't think so. No.
You think they're going to be in combination with?
It's going to be a combination, right? The branded caller ID is going to cost some money, right? When you have to pay 5, 8, 12, 13 cents additional per call, people that are doing 100,000 calls a day, you look at that per month and they are not going to stomach that cost.
Yeah. 12,000 calls a day at 12 cents is $1,200, right? I think if you move the math around, right?
Right. Yeah.
12% of 100,000.
And next thing you're looking at, what? I want better contact rates, but I don't want a $50,000 bill.
Wait, I didn't do that math.
Yeah, you want to do the math? Yeah, do it real quick.
That math, right. So 100,000 calls times 0.12. That's 12,000 a day.
Yep.
Yeah, but if that's all you need to make is 100,000 calls to get to make more than 12,000 a day, then you win. Yes, in some scenarios, that is a good dollar spend. Yeah. For our clients where we're talking, it's more about the appointment reminders, it's the follow-through calls, it's the renewals. We talked about that, right? There's a gentleman already doing that. Use the AI for the renewal. Well, but give it the best chance you can and put it on a branded caller ID so the consumer knows who's calling them on that renewal call. So exactly. It's specific use cases, specific dollar spends to achieve those goals that it's not really appropriate for the front line for most of the folks that we speak with. Right. Yeah. It might be at some point, but not right now. All right. What else we got here? We've got the voice AI and speech. Right. Well, we can plug in, right? If somebody wants text to speech or speech to text, we can plug in with any of these. We've worked with Google Voice and the Amazon Poly Voice and Azure and OpenAI. Yeah. Twilio, we've done a bunch of stuff. We're even, in some cases, we are replacing Twilio altogether. Yeah. And Assembly AI, good stuff. You can build your own solutions with them. And DeepGram, they're doing an excellent job of the transcription and sentiment analysis and the voices. And then 11 Labs, they almost should be at the top of the list. They should be, probably. They're one of the best.
They are, and it's a disruptive company, right? They're coming in. You have Amazon Poly and Google Voice and, these Microsoft Azure. You have these big players that have been in the industry for a decade and a half, if not more.
Yeah.
And 11 Labs has really disrupted some really high quality voices.
I bet.
It's an industry standard now.
Well, I'm glad we went through that list. I know we had wanted to make sure we covered some of our integrations for sure in the past, and we definitely have got a pretty comprehensive list here. I think there's a few things we're missing, but listen, This is pretty comprehensive. So if anybody needs any sort of integration with one of these partners or players that we've brought out, we can do that. We can bring that to your call center. We can get that to your program. We can get it to your campaign. Even if you want to just do a campaign, that's fine.
Yeah, test it out. Take. It's like give us that difficult test case, right?
Yeah.
Give us something custom that people are saying no to. You'll find that we can oftentimes say yes.
I like that.
And make it happen.
Great way to put it.
Yeah.
All right, Raymond. Anything else you want to cover today?
I just want to thank everyone for watching, and let's have a great day out there, everyone.
Thanks for watching the MyCallCloud podcast with Raymond and Noah. We'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.